The S&P 500 has been hitting new highs this year, but not every stock is celebrating. In fact, some of its biggest past winners are now languishing at the very bottom. In today's video, we're going to explore one of the companies that crushed the market for over a decade, but have been one of the worst performers in the entire index this year, and potentially explain what went wrong. So the first thing that went wrong is you not tapping the like button when the video is dropped. So you can redeem yourself right now. Oh, and this entire video is powered by StockOracle. It's Piranha Profit's new investing tool aimed to make investing easier, smarter, and more accessible for everyone. So you can check out the latest offer for StockOracle today by clicking the link in the description below. So to figure this out, we first need to find a way to track how each company in the S&P 500 index, how they've performed at least on a year-to-date basis. So one of the simplest thing you could do is to just Google S&P 500 component year-to-date return. And the first site that pops up is actually Slick Charts, and they do all the heavy lifting for us. It neatly ranks every single company from hero to zero. So once you see that list, you'll know exactly which of your friends to call out for lunch, especially that buddy that has Palantir in his portfolio. But ultimately, this video isn't just about winners. In fact, the S&P 500 has plenty of laggards this year, and some of them were never great businesses to begin with, so there's not much to talk about there. What's more fascinating are the former unstoppables, compounding machines, and they stumbled pretty badly this year. So today, we are zeroing in one of those fallen stars, Fair Isaac Corporation, also known as FICO. They nearly 5x'd in the past 5 years before its recent nosedive. And the million-dollar question, what exactly happened? So to give you a first look at how StockOracle scores FICO, here's its OracleIQ graph. You can basically think of this as a quick visual snapshot of 6 key criteria we've identified at Piranha Profits. They are basically measuring a company's predictability, profitability, growth, economic mode, financial strength, and valuation. So it's a simple way to see at a glance where a business currently stands. And we'll break each one down in more details later. So as we zoom into FICO, the company behind the credit score that underpins almost every American mortgage. So first things first, to understand what makes them special, we can look at StockOracle's AI mode analysis. So FICO is considered to have a wide mode, ranking high in pricing power, barriers to entry, and even switching cost. And their real strength actually lies in dominating the US credit scoring market, where FICO scores are deeply embedded in lending systems, regulations, and the mortgage market in general. And the brand itself, it's basically synonymous with the industry standard. And looking at FICO's historical performances, you can really see the strength of its economic mode. Key financials like their revenue, operating income, and cash flow, they've all trended steadily upwards over time. Margins, they're world-class and still expanding, while the return on investor capital, they've consistently stayed above 30% for the past 5 years. So this performance shows up clearly in the first 2 sections of OracleIQ, which highlights the company's predictability and profitability. So the question is, what broke? Interestingly, it goes back to why FICO was such an investor favorite in the first place, and how the story is seemingly breaking down. So the meteoric rise of FICO wasn't powered by huge new volumes or groundbreaking innovation. It was driven by something far simpler, price hikes. So from 2018 to today, the cost of a FICO score went from 50 cents to nearly $5. And that's a jaw-dropping 900% increase, or 10x. And with an 88% profit margin on credit scoring, every extra dollar flowed almost to the bottom line. And the problem? You can't keep squeezing forever. So lenders pushed back, regulators stepped in, and earlier this year, FICO lost its monopoly mandate. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, which accounted for nearly half of all US mortgages, are now free to use VantageScore 4.0, and it's a competing model owned by their competitors. And that basically made them lose their grip on half the market overnight. And in this case, losing their monopolistic power. And your first thought might be, isn't credit scoring just one part of FICO's business? Sure, they lost the monopoly on half of the mortgage market, but does that really explain a 45% drawdown from their recent peak? Well, The answer is not so straightforward. Because while credit scoring accounts for just over half of their revenue, it actually drives nearly 3/4 of their profits. So any crack in the monopoly hits earnings a lot harder. And the market is basically trying to re-underwrite this quote-unquote new normal for FICO from here. And here's the real kicker. Even after this recent drawdown, FICO is still priced like a hypergrowth stock. So at the current price to earnings multiple, PE ratio of 53 times, investors are paying Tesla-style multiples for what increasingly looks like a mature, utility-like business. In other words, investors are basically betting on their economic moat, their ability to raise prices to reflect their true earnings, which might or might not come true given the recent cracks in their monopolistic power. Now, before you write off FICO completely, it's worth also noting why the stock hasn't totally collapsed. For one, I think inertia is extremely powerful. Lenders have decades of systems and risk models built around FICO, and switching isn't free or even instant. Second, even with the recent price hikes, the actual cost of a FICO score is under $5 per mortgage, and it's a drop in the ocean compared to the $350,000 loan. So in the grand scheme of things, lenders might not be that price sensitive. And if interest rates continue to fall and mortgage volumes actually rebound, FICO could actually see a short-term boost in the score demand, which might potentially cushion some of the market share losses. Now, circling back to FICO's OracleIQ, it's clear that they've been one of the most predictable and profitable business over the past 5 years. No doubts about that. Incredible pricing power, near monopoly status, and a wide economic moat. The biggest question now is whether these new regulatory and competitive developments will start chipping away at their moat. And if so, how much it could hurt growth from here. So if growth actually takes a lasting hit, the intrinsic value of the stock inevitably comes down too. Currently, StockOracle's OracleValue pegs FICO at about $1,450 per share. So this figure comes from our proprietary algorithm. So inside the tool itself, you can actually run your own projections to calculate your version and projection of the intrinsic value. And here's something worth trying. It's called a reverse discounted cash flow. So by tweaking the growth assumptions, you can basically see what the market is trying to price in today. And right now, it looks like the market is baking in a 20% free cash flow growth for years to come. So at the end of the day, you'll then have to make the assessment of whether you think they can deliver on those expectations. So with StockOracle, it's versatile and it doesn't just give you the numbers, but lets you test it yourself. So if you want to get access to this useful investing tool, you can head down to the link below and check out our latest offer. Now, to tie everything together, as an investment, on one hand, the bear case is pretty clear. FICO's monopoly has cracked, regulatory pressures are rising, and the stock still trades at a premium multiple that looks unsustainable if and only if growth actually slows down significantly. And that explains the 45% drawdown. Investors are no longer willing to pay a premium for a company that is heading into a slower lane. But the numbers themselves tell a different story. So margins is still elite, free cash flow is still robust, and there are no signs yet of clients abandoning the FICO score entirely. In fact, revenues are still growing double digits, and the lenders remain sticky. So feel free to share your thoughts about FICO in the comments below and where you stand on this investment idea today. And since you have already stayed with us till the end, I'm sure you love investing as much as we do. So don't forget to sign up for Investing Bites, which is our weekly investing newsletter with the link below. And this is CK from Piranha Profit signing off. Till next time, keep winning.